So in this video, I will talk about application load balancer, which is also called ALB. So ALB is a layer 7 load balancer. Load balancing to multiply HTTP applications across machines, and load balancing to multiply applications on the same machine. Support for HTTP2 and WebSocket. Support redirects, for example, from HTTP to HTTPS. And the routing table to different target group. And for the target group, I will talk about later in the course. Routing based on path. For example, you can see the domain is the same, but the path is different. We can routing based on the path. And routing based on host name in URL. So you can see here, the domain is different. We can routing based on query string and headers. ALB are great fit for microservice and container-based applications, for example, Docker and Amazon ECS. In comparison, we need to multiply CLB per application, but using ALB, we just need one. So here is the overview of ALB architecture. This is an example based on the path. Request to path user will be dispatched to target group for user. And the target group is a mechanism for category the EC2 instances. And for the path, for the visit to parser search, it will dispatch the traffic to the target group for the search parts. And also please notice that the health check is based on the target group. So next, let's talk about target group. Target group can contain several kinds of resource. For example, EC2 instance, ECS tasks, Lambda functions, IP address, and the IP address must be private IPs. So ALB can route to multiple target group. Health check are at the target group level. So there are something you need to know about ALB. It has a fixed host name. The application server don't see the IP of the client directly. The true IP of the client is inserted in the header x40.4. We can also get the port and the portal through the x40 port and the x40 portal. So here is an example. Client will send traffic to the ALB. ALB will do the connection termination, and it will talk to the EC2 instance behind it through the private IP. So if the client wants to know the client IP, you can check this information in the request header. Like I said before, if the client wants to know the client IP, you can check the x40.4, and if the client wants to know the portal, you can find the x40 port and the x40 portal. So that's all about the ALB. So we have 3 AWS EC2 instances. And next, I will create a load balancer. So let's click this link and click this button. Select application load balancer. Click create. Okay, I will give it a name. I will call it ALB. And I will leave other things behind as default. And here, the availability zone, I will check all of this. So this configuration will ensure that our load balancer is high availability. Okay, next I will click config security settings, and you will see a warning here, so we can just ignore it and click next. And I will choose the first security group. Okay, and click next, configure routing. So it tells you to configure a target group. So I will create a target group called TG1, and the target type I will choose instance. Protocol and the port will be HTTP and AT. Health check protocol and path will be HTTP and the root path. Okay, so let's click next. In this step, I will register the target. So let's say I want to add instance 1 and instance 2 into the target group I just created. Okay, so let's click this button. So for now, for the TG1 TG1 target group, we have 2 instances. Okay, and I will leave the third instances behind for other use. Okay, so let's click next. So here is the review, and if everything is okay, we can create this button. So our ALB is created. So let's click this link, and you will see that the ALB is we just created, and now it is provisioning. And after provisioning, and I will go back. So now our ALB is in active state. So we can copy the DNS name and visit in a new tab. Click. Okay, you can see the web page like this. And I will refresh this page. Please remember, please notice that this IP address will be changed. So you can see that IP address is changed because the traffic is randomly distributed to the behind EC2 instances. Okay. So now let's create another target group. Let's click target groups. And the TG1 is the previously created one. And we can click create target group again. And this time choose the target type. It should be instance. And we name it as TG2. Okay. Protocol will use HTTP and the port will be 80. So the health check is the same as the previous one. So let's click next. Alright, so this time we can register the targets. So we have 3 options, and although we use the instance 1 and the instance 2 in previous target group, and but we can still reuse it in another target group also. So this time, let's say I wanna add instance 1, 2, 3, and instance 2. Okay, so these 2 instances will be put into the TG2 target group, and let's click this button, include as pending below. So now it's in pending status. So when I click create target group, it will be changed to active. Okay. So currently we have 2 target group, which is TG1 and TG2. So let's go back to the load balancer and click listener. So you can see default all the traffic will forward into TG1. So next I need to edit the rows. So this is the default row, and I can add a new row by clicking this button and click this link. And this is the condition, this is the result. So let's say if you can see I can route the traffic based on path, on host header, HTTP header, etc. So let me say I want to route traffic based on path. So if the user enter the path test, and I want the traffic forward to TG2. Okay, so let's click save. You can see now we have 2 rules, right? This one is the default one, and this one is the newly added one. So let's refresh this page and add a test pass. So it says the request URL that was not found on the server. So this means also the traffic is forwarded to TG2, but actually we don't have a path called test. All right, so maybe I can modify the role. Click this link and edit this button. Click this button, and let's say I don't want to forward to. I want to return a fixed response. The response code will be 503, and it says path does not exist. Okay, so let's click update. Now this time, let's visit this path again, and we should wait for a second. Let's see what happens. Pass test, fix response. It should be work. I think it needs some time to warm up. Click again. Yeah, you can see that the pass does not exist. Okay, so that's great. So let me show you how to drive traffic to TG2, because we don't have a path like test, right? So I can add another row. Let's say per string. Okay, if the key equal to TG2, okay, it will forward to target group 2. Okay, so let's click save, and let's try key equal to TG2. Click enter. Yeah, you will see our traffic is is forwarded to the target group 2, and target group 2 has 2 EC2 instances, so the IP address will change. Alright, so that's it. I think that's enough for the introduction of ALB, and I hope you guys like this video. If you do like it, please thumbs up and subscribe to my channel. Thank you.